Live edition of Elevate Your Grind brought to you by the Cannabis Lab. We're here live at the Alternative Products Expo at the Broward County Convention Center. And I have Masha and Roger from ACS Labs, longtime members. Thank you for joining me today.
Our pleasure, Todd. Our pleasure.
Absolutely.
Always a good thing to be around.
Always great to see you guys, and I see you at so many events. You're at everything. So I wanted to sit down with you guys because I want to talk about Florida. It's one of my favorite markets to talk about because I live here and I'm very selfish and I only care about myself. So what is going on in our market right now? Because I see a lot of struggle. I see people putting stuff out. It's constantly going on sale. They're trying to rush it through. We're starting to see THC percentages go up, but only spottingly, and it's interesting. So what's your view on the industry?
Well, the state of Florida has 800,000 patients, or about 800,000 patients. So it's a very small marketplace, but it's the largest medical marketplace in the country. There's only 22 licenses.
I think like last year we did $1.4 billion in revenue. We're like the third or fourth largest market in the country.
The acceleration of 1.4 billion is pretty significant.
Yeah.
Great acceleration. But in order for it to accelerate further, we're going to end up having to supposed to be on the ballot in 2034. It's a big push for that. I think we can see something.
No, let me ask a stupid question. I don't know how far we should go into this. It's not that hard to get a car, right? You know, there are a lot of qualifying factors for it that people can qualify for. Is it just that people don't want to pay for it? Because I gotta be honest, I'm getting to the point now. I've got to renew my scripts twice a year. I got to pay. It's not even the money to the state. It's what I got to pay the doctors all the time just to get my card. And that's just for the ability to purchase it. That's not even for the product itself. So do you think that's where we're starting to see the slowdown? That there's only 800,000 people in the state that are willing to pay that much money to buy weed?
Well, the state has a population of almost 22 million people. So 800,000 is a very small percentage.
And also, I think that the program does have an intrusive problem. Drop out of the program, but then there's always new patients all the time. And I think a big problem is no one's speaking to the Spanish-speaking population. You know, that's one of the things we addressed at ACS Laboratories. All our COAs are also available in Spanish.
Very nice.
And I think that's very important. And in Florida, everyone is talking to the same audience. No one is speaking to the Spanish-speaking population, or even some of the other.
And I want to get back to the testing in a second, but Masha, you bring up a good point. Do you think that the 22 competitors that we have here, they're all just fighting for the legacy cannabis consumer that's buying weed because they know they're buying it, instead of trying to continue to educate the community around them, which you do if you're not booked out too?
Yeah, Masha does a great job at education of the community, and I think that unfortunately the industry has a tremendous amount of turnover of personnel. So educating the people is a constant grind to be able to make sure that dispensary, finding somebody who's an educated person in that dispensary is fantastic.
Yeah. So this market is really interesting, right? Like we've mentioned it several times, we have 20 players here. So I hate saying this, like people are gonna buy. They don't really need to put a whole lot of love and care into the product, but still, I think we deserve and people appreciate a quality product. And we don't always see that. On top of that, it's got to be a struggle for you guys because there's more labs opening up, but the customer count hasn't changed in the past 5 years. It's not very big.
The competition has increased in laboratory testing, and unfortunately, the only way for a laboratory to get any business is either drop their price or to increase their THC levels in a program. And unfortunately, a lot of that is happening in the marketplace today, where we might test a flower product and it would be at 20% THC, and somebody else can do that to be at 28%. But 40% increase in the THC level. It's wrong. It's not accurate. It's not right, and it causes an issue with people that are involved. They're paying a higher price for a product that really is not at that level. And somebody who's smoking marijuana, 20%, somebody smoking that's really 28%, they really know the difference.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that too, because I really do feel like this is a national problem. It's not just a Florida problem. I mean, I see percentages in California of non-infused products in the high 40s.
50s, I saw something 55.
I don't even think that's physically
I-
possible.
No, it's not.
But if you're in California and you've got, 4,000 brands that need to test their products, you can take the moral high ground a lot easier because it's not going to hit your financial pocket that much. For being in the state of Florida, when there's only 22 customers, it's got to be a much harder decision to do the right thing.
Laboratory shopping is a national issue in cannabis. It's a national issue in hemp as well. And, there are producers that look for laboratories that are going to give them the numbers that they want. And, that's a real problem. It's regulated, to stop that and to be able to stop that from happening. Or self-governance of the grower, to be able to say, hey, I'm going to test my product and whatever it comes out to be.
And I will say the only brand that I actually see that nationally, and I'll shout them out, is 710 Labs, because I see them and they have product that's 15%, 17%, and people will talk shit and they're just like, good, try it. And I would love to see more brands because they know that they have quality flower. And I would love to see more brands follow suit with that, where it's, listen, I've had 710 that's 17, and it's a lot better and tastier and more flavorful than a lot of the 26 to 35% weed I've seen in California.
Well, and I have the privilege of every single thing I smoke, I know a lot of it. Like I see the
It is
data.
a phenomenal
And
privilege.
I mean, I can look up any strain, but what I'm telling you is the THC potency, it does not guarantee better experience. That's all there is. So it's all about the turkey. And that emphasis on THC, it's just, it's
Yeah.
So
So many different aspects. You go right. So many different aspects of a good product.
Yeah.
That you experience. It's not just THC.
no, it's not.
I
at
get a
all.
lot more excited when I see a strain has 4 or 5% terps. Like when you
Oh,
get
yeah.
up there with the terp, I'm like, okay, now you're talking.
Well, and that's just terpenes, right? There's flavonoids too. So flavonoids are really important.
I think you made that work.
Yeah, no. We test for 16 flavonoids, which are also found in spices and other parts of the plant.
What about the schmishmellows? So let's not just focus on cannabis. This is the Alternatives Products Expo here. I know that you guys have opened up into the world of other plant medicines and things like that. Can you tell us about that as well?
Yes, my favorite topic. So we have developed a method for testing mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms. And because we're a DA registered laboratory, we're able to take samples, we're able to accept samples from other DA registered producers. And also for R&D to do the testing and to develop a method to test we test for 7 tryptamines, psilocybin, psilocin, biosystin, nor-biosystin, organized, 4-HTMT, and then harmine and harvine, which are like, I think they're kind of like the terpenes of mushrooms.
Okay.
So it's very interesting because only psilocybin and psilocin are scheduled. So we've got all these other tryptamines that are non-scheduled. And what we're seeing right now, people are isolating those tryptamines and then adding them into legal mushrooms. So what I'm seeing is the mushroom market is not going to be very different from the hemp market, which is just, isolating these different compounds. But what's exciting, and I hope that the mushroom market doesn't get like prostituted like the hemp market, but because the way that it's the community, like the mycologists share support with each other. The community is very, it's a different feeling. And so, and these mushrooms obviously are ancient, so I could go on and on, but yeah, we're testing mushrooms.
Whether they be psychoactive or whether they be functional mushrooms, it's just
Right.
It's just starting.
It's
It's just starting to get traction. and a lot of products that are starting to get there.
I think it's a great part of the plant medicine revolution that we're seeing now. And I will tell you, it's because of folks like you, which is why I did get my medical card in the first place. Obviously, I opened up this conversation about bitching about the price, and it still fucking sucks. But, you know, it was an episode of Rogan that, yeah, next park ranger on, he was talking about the pesticides that spray on these illegal growths. And I've just recently gotten to the IPM world, so I learned about the term REI. And the REI in this pest control is 3 fucking days. So a human can go in the environment or touch the plant for 3 days, and all of a sudden I'm putting that in my lungs. This was a pest control that was outlawed in the 70s.
But
So
now it's not out.
it scared the shit. No, it was outlawed in the 70s, but it's the
What was
cartel.
there?
The cartel grows in California. That scared the shit out of me. Cause like I buy it from people that I trust, but I don't know who they're getting it from or anyone else. So that drove me right to get my medical card, because there were folks like you along the way that were testing it and making sure that that crap wasn't in it.
It's important to be able to get tested product.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know that it's tested safe. It's very important. We have special seals that we trade for, that we put on the products to say that it's tested for cannabis, tested for hemp. What you're talking about is almost like from the 70s.
Yeah.
When the United States government went to spray paraquat on all the fields in Mexico. And in Mexico, the cartels just harvested the product and sold it in the United States. And people had paraquat.
Wow.
And then today, people are taking that same weed and making concentrate from it. So now you have concentrated pest control,
Right.
which is even more fun, right?
Right.
So as I like the fact that at least these alternative products are being tested, because as we have this plant medicine revolution, it's no secret, as with any new industry, people are going to try to take advantage. They're going to put whatever cheap bullshit they can into the market, and they're going to try to make $1. And I think that's a bad look for plant medicine, because it's going to harm people. I mean, we've looked at, and I don't know if you guys have seen this, now we're getting into serious podcasts, not just trade show podcasts. There have been 2 incidents recently of cannabis-induced psychosis from synthesized cannabinoids that led to suicide. So
Like
they took synthesized cannabis dabs and wax, and they smoked so much of it, it led to psychosis, and they ended up killing themselves.
Oh my God.
And you have not seen that with your traditional cannabis strains, right? So, and I'm not saying that all those alternative cannabinoids are bad, but I can imagine that that was purchased from a gas station, maybe not even a reputable one like a Circle K.
It's kind of like the old days of K2 and Spice.
Yeah.
And those days, just chemicals sprayed on potpourri or some plant. Where cannabis, I have children that have medical cards.
Yeah.
And I tell them, you can't buy marijuana from anybody except for dispensary. So get your card,
Yeah.
buy it from a legal dispensary, because you know it's safe. And you want to be able to use the products safely. It's important. If you find it from a place that could be dangerous or
Which I think circles back to making it recreational, even though that term sounds fun, giving access to safe plant medicine to everybody seems like it should be a priority.
well, adult use can be safe as well. So the legal dispensary that had requirements, we have to make sure the product is safe.
Yeah. All right. Anything that you guys want to add before we go?
Yeah, so, we're the first laboratory in the metaverse. So we
Okay.
created a space in the metaverse, in partnership with Logticity and Automatic Slims. And it's a building in the central end, so you don't need a helmet or Oculus or anything like that.
Okay.
And we are, a laboratory experience in the metaverse, which now means you can learn about the cannabinoid system in a different way. You can learn about the cannabinoid system in a different way. So like instead of looking at a COA, you can touch the THC molecule and then information comes out.
That's really
You can touch, the terpene molecule and information will come out. And so we want to educate in a different way and make it more experiential. I've never enjoyed chemistry. Now I'm obsessed with it. I want to know what all the molecules are, what all the differences. In the metaverse, you can take molecules apart. You can put them together. You can watch how your serotonin receptor molecule matches the psilocin molecule exactly, and they bind. So that's very interesting. So
See, folks, cannabis is a gateway drug for learning.
it is. So we'll be educating in the metaverse. We're putting all the COAs on the blockchain. So now there'll be this beautiful.
It's in a place called Decentraland.
Okay.
And it's called automatic select. And it's a really, really cool experience, all education. People who don't know how marijuana is grown or how it's extracted, to learn it all in this experience. And then you can go up to the roof, and on the roof, we do podcasts,
Great.
and on the roof, we do concerts as well. So
Very
it's
nice.
actually very cool. The idea actually came from the Beatles doing a concert on the roof of Apple Records.
We're actually activating at Rolling Loud.
Okay, nice.
So
What's the day? I don't know the date on it.
Rolling Loud, I think, will be tomorrow in LA. Mike Boner is there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Like, what a friend.
So, yeah, I could have gone to Rolling Loud, but I'm here instead.
Well, that's because you had to do the show.
I made a commitment.
Made a commitment.
So yeah, we're very excited about the metaverse and the potential for education. And then when you put COAs on the blockchain, then, you know, it gives a whole different level of authentication and access to people. So
Thank you both
Thank
for fighting a good fight here in Florida, for keeping things honest, and thank you for being big supporters of Sea Loud.